Hello my beautiful people, welcome back again to my YouTube channel, and if you're new, welcome to my YouTube channel. Karibu. Did you just start working in Germany, or are you planning on working in Germany? Well, I am going to share with you guys things that you should know. Listen, I've been working now in Germany for a couple of years, and I can't believe that with time, I get to learn something new all the time. If you've been working in Germany for a long time, you already know some of the things or all of the things that I'm about to share. I'm going to share with you 5. Maybe there'll be a bonus. Have a seat, take a glass of water or tea or wine, whatever suits you. And let's talk. First point has to be types of contracts in Germany. And this has to be for the people who are planning on working in Germany, who have never worked in Germany. We have 2 types of contracts in Germany. Unbefristet Arbeitsvertrag, in English, permanent working contract. This type of contract doesn't need to be renewed after a year or so. So you guys already know everything in this world has its own good side and its own bad side, right? So I'm going to give you one advantage and one disadvantage of this type of contract. A good advantage of this type of contract is, of course, security. You already know you have a permanent contract in a certain company, and you don't have to worry about in 2 months, where am I going to get another job in 3 months or so. As long as you are happy with the job, as long as you are happy in what you're doing, as long as you are in a good, healthy working environment, you get to work without worrying about tomorrow until you save enough to have your own company or even get a better job, so you're secure. A disadvantage that I think about every time I think about permanent contract is, of course, you don't experience new surroundings. And you also don't get challenged. Your work doesn't challenge you anymore. And I think challenges sometimes they help in growth, Every time you get challenged into trying something different or working on a certain thing that maybe you've never worked on, it challenges you to grow, to have wings. In most cases, you find yourself being in your comfort zone so much, and that's why a lot of people who have permanent contracts and work in certain companies for a long time, they don't really have the gut to look for another job and start over in a new company, But I must say, this depends on the type of job you do or the type of company you work in. For example, let's say you work maybe as a consultant, maybe marketing, or maybe you work in a company that also deals with other companies, or you work with different customers all the time. So you get to interact with other people, get to know their needs, get to try to know what to do for this customer, and this customer, how do different companies, different careers, whatever you do, it just depends with what you're doing. I know I said one disadvantage and one advantage. Let me give you guys another disadvantage, okay? No sense of freedom, okay? And it could be a bit difficult when you want to terminate the contract. The time or the process you take in terminating this type of contract compared to a contract that isn't permanent, I think it's a bit not so easy. So darlings, the second type of contract is befristete Arbeitsvertrag, which is a temporary contract. It could be 6 months, it could be 1 year, it could be 2 years, but it's fixed. You already know in 2 years, I have to start looking for another job. Maybe in 1 year, my contract will be ending. So even maybe the 6th month, I already have to start looking for another job, and so forth. Advantage: you could learn so much and have so much experience during the period of your contract that you could end up getting a very good job in a different company after that contract is over. Also, maybe even get a permanent contract in the next company. Disadvantage: no sense of security, of course. No sense of security. After 1 year, maybe they don't want to continue the contract working with you. they don't give you another contract, and you will have to start looking for another job. Sometimes it could be very difficult to find jobs and all that. But don't worry, you just have to always stay positive. As long as you know what you can do best, as long as you have your documents, you get your job. For both of these contracts, there's a probation time of maximum 6 months. Darlings, second point, Steuerklasse. Tax, I think in English, tax class? Tax class? I don't know. Tell me in the comment section if that's it. Guys, I have been working in Germany, and what I'm about to tell you guys, I didn't know. So in Germany, there are different types of Steuerklasse, tax class, if that's what it is in English. We have from Steuerklasse 1 to Steuerklasse 6, which is tax class 1 to tax class 6. And it depends with which situation you are in. Are you married with kids or without? Are you single and living alone? Are you a single parent? Which situation are you in? You pay according to the situation you are in. And every Steuerklasse, every tax class is different. You pay more or less depending on which Steuerklasse you are in. So the first year when I started working, I was in Steuerklasse 1, which is for singles, separated, and so forth, or without a kid, living alone. Guys, and I didn't know, you know, until a friend of mine told me, no, Naomi, I have a child. Until a friend told me, no, Naomi, you're supposed to be in Steuerklasse 2 because you're a single parent. Can you imagine? And all that time, I didn't know. Guys, that's why I always say, it's always good to talk with people and learn things from others because you don't know everything. Imagine all that time, I didn't know this. You know, even if you pay one euro more in tax, that's money. And imagine I was paying all that money in tax and I was supposed to be in Steuerklasse 2. So of course I applied for Steuerklasse 2 in Finanzamt and it was changed. And then I decided to get a second job. Which, by the way, is not a mini job. Remember, the other job wasn't a mini job, and then I decided to get another job, a second job in a different company. So at the end of the month, I of course got my payroll, Lohnabrechnung. And then I'm checking, because of course, when you come to Germany, you will, every letter you get, everything you get, you will have to go through it really well, just to make sure that everything is okay. There's no letter you have to send. You always have to check everything. So here I am checking my Lohnabrechnung, of course. Shock on me. I am in Steuerklasse 6. I'm wondering, why am I in Steuerklasse 6? And by the way, guys, I had never heard of Steuerklasse 6, to be honest with you guys. I knew there are different Steuerklasses in Germany, but it never even crossed my mind about Steuerklasse 6. Shock on me. So what to do? Christine's daughter went to ask Steuerberater, a tax consultant. Turns out that as long as you have 2 jobs in 2 different companies and none of the 2 jobs is mini job, you earn between 450 to 520, I think, if I'm not wrong. Then you're in Steuerklasse 2. The funny thing is, it's not like it's the Steuerklasse 6, the tax class 6, it's combined with the tax number you already have. So for example, I'm in Steuerklasse 2. So Steuerklasse 2, 6, if I didn't misunderstand it. Imagine. So the only option was, I either earn less maybe I earn 520 in one job, and the other job I continue earning the way I'm always earning, or I continue staying in Steuerklasse 6. Another confusing thing is, for example, if I was earning what I'm earning in both jobs, if I was just earning all of it in one company, it's egal, I'll still be in Steuerklasse 2. So the only problem is, or the only thing that is making me be in Steuerklasse 6 is because they are two different companies. That's still confusing to me. Steuerklasse 2 in Verbindung mit Steuerklasse 6. That's so confusing to me. Why did I say all this story in regards to Steuerklasse? Be very careful. Remember I told you guys, the first time I started working, I didn't know about these things, and I was in Steuerklasse 1. Although I was supposed to be in Steuerklasse 2. If someone didn't tell me early enough, I wouldn't know, I wouldn't have known. So if you're just starting to work, or if you just started recently working, control all those things and ask if you don't know what something means. If you're not sure about something, make sure you ask. It doesn't cost a thing to ask, and you learn along the way. We are all learning in one way or the other. Point number 3, and this is also something that still confuses me to date. Paying church tax. Yes, this is something I had never, ever heard of. Paying church tax. When you come to Germany, when you're filling all those forms and you have to say if you're a church goer or not. In short, if you're a Christian or you're not. If you go to church or not. And the thing is, if you say you're a church goer, if you're a Christian, you pay church tax. And if you calculate this amount of money you pay monthly in a year, it could be a good amount of money, But if you decide to say you're not a church goer, you're not a Christian, let me just say that, yeah, that's how I can put it at best, then irgendwann in life, if you decide to get married, I don't think you'll be able to get married in a church. Guys, let me know in the comment section if you've been working in Germany, or if you know about all these tax situations. Let me know in the comment section. Can you still get married in a church if maybe, for example, one person doesn't pay this church tax and one of them pays? Would you be able to still pay do a church wedding if one of you doesn't pay the church tax? Because I don't know. Or does it only count when both of you are paying church tax? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section, okay? Point number 4, Urlaubsanspruch. Or in other, did I say it right? Habe ich es richtig gesagt? Anyway, in other words, or in English, holidays. It's between 28 to 33 days that you take randomly from work. And when I say randomly, for example, I like taking my holidays when my son is also on holiday. For example, I could take maybe 10 days during summer holidays, and then I take 4 days during Easter holiday, and then I take maybe 3 days. You just take them randomly. I don't think you can take all holiday at once. I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. Another thing, you don't have to take all these holidays in 1 year. You can decide if you've not finished taking your holidays this year, you can carry them forward the next year. It's always advisable to communicate about the holidays you want to take early in advance for them, so that your holidays don't collide with your colleagues' holidays. Also, weekends are not included in these free days. So for example, if you took maybe holiday from Monday to Friday for a week, Saturday and Sunday, and also holidays like Easter, they are not included. Those are automatically free days. 25th of December, days like these are automatically free. Also, darlings, did I say every minute counts? Every minute counts. So that's why it's very important that you don't go to job late, And also, every minute, every second, every hour you work extra, you can either accumulate all those hours and turn them into your off days, like I said, or you can get paid. You get that extra cash, you know? Every minute counts. And that's why in most cases, if maybe an office closes at 4:30 and you call 4:30, not even 1 minute past, that 4:30, nobody will answer. Nobody will answer. That's how serious every minute counts here, okay? Point number 5. Are we already at point number 5? All right, point number 5, sick days. Taking off days on sick days. These are not included on your off days. So once you're sick here, you have to send a Krankmeldung to your boss. For example, you go to the hospital, then you will get a note from the doctor that shows that you're really sick. And maybe if you're supposed to stay home for 5 days, they will write for you that you are not supposed to go to work from this day to this day. Or for example, I have a child. If my child is sick, then I just have to also, when I take him to the hospital, I just have to get a note from the hospital that my son is sick, and then I can stay home until my son is gesund. Sometimes there are sicknesses which are not that rough, like maybe Erkältung, maybe cold. Still, you can stay at home, but then you have to inform your boss as soon as possible. Maybe even the morning, or preferably a day before. It's always important to make sure you inform your boss. You make sure, in most cases, you have to give a Krankmeldung, you have to give a note from the doctor that you're sick or your child is sick. And then these days are still paid sick days. Point number 6, and the last one, taking breaks during working hours. I will say in this case, it depends in which company you're working in, but you are allowed 40 minutes break during the day. For example, let's say you're working from 8:30 to 4:30. In between, you don't have to take all these 40 hours at once. You can take maybe at around 10, maybe 15 minutes, and then in between you take others. For people who like smoking, they like taking 10 minutes, or to take coffee and smoke, and lunch you can take maybe a longer one, maybe 25 or 30 minutes. It depends on you and how you want to handle or when you want to take your breaks, and also how you communicate with your colleagues. If you're too many, if you're not too many, if you like taking breaks together, if you like taking your own time alone. It depends on you, how long you want to have your break and when. That's it for today's video. Let me know what you think of the video in the comment section. If you just started working, tell me, did you know all these things? If you've not started working yet and you're looking into working in Germany, what do you think about all these points I just said? And if you've been working for long in Germany, let me know. What do you think about all these points I just gave? What do you think? All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.